Hello and welcome to the Intrapreneurs show with me, Lady K. Today on the show I'm joined by Jawu, an entrepreneur who is into photography and videography. Let's hear more from him. Say welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I actually never thought I would be on any show. But thank you. It's such an honor.
Okay, so why are you in photography and videography business in particular?
Right. There's a lot of information going on around about finding your purpose and following your dream and living it, despite the prevailing conditions, especially in our country. So photography had always been a passion for me. I think back in the day when there was the Sony Ericsson, the flip, I used to love the phone because of the camera. And I always had an eye for pictures and movies, and that's what happened. And so the opportunity then came when I bumped into an old friend of mine, Fox, and he had recently just acquired a few items, and we partnered up, and Jawu Folks was born.
Okay, so give me a brief description of what happens in photography.
Right. Photography is life. I mean, photography is a lot of things. Firstly, it's all about capturing memories and moments and making sure that you pass them down from each generation to the next. Storytelling is okay. Orally, it's fine. But, when you add pictures to it, everything just makes sense. So photography is all about capturing the moment, capturing the memory, and making sure it survives the ages into the next generation or something.
So basically, a story without photos is meaningless.
It is meaningful. I also do a bit of writing myself, but I've come to appreciate that the black man in particular, without stereotyping or anything, we don't like to read. We prefer to watch, we prefer to listen.
That's true.
And so that's why it would be better for us to invest more in storytelling in the form of photography, videography, and we can go back to our ancestors. They didn't write anything, but they drew things on rocks, and those are pictures. Those are our primary pictures of what went on back then. So I think the tradition should just go on.
Okay, what about videography? What does it entail? What is it all about? What happens there?
Videography, then it's mostly the sound, or the aspect of sound now and motion. You want to have pictures that also interact. Photography, it appeals to very few people, especially when you go very artistic with it. Because now when you look at a picture, you have to come up with your own story and interpretation. Whereas if you're just watching a movie, what the person is saying, what they're doing, it's live, it's clear to see for everyone to just be on the same page. So videography comes in as to explain the photography, adding the sound and the motion.
So the two goes together.
They do. Going back in history, photography came first, right? And then videography came later. Videography then came as a way of, if you go back in history, we used to have pictures rolling on a film. So the faster the pictures rolled, the more it became motion pictures. And then from motion pictures came videos. Now we have 4K videos, and everything is clearer now.
Okay, so when did this business start?
We started in 2018, sometime in November. It was around the NAST graduation. It so happened that when the idea came about, we also found an opportunity to quickly jump onto the market at the time, because so many people were looking for photographers in Bulawayo, and in Bulawayo we realized not many studios are actually operational. So that's where we came in, and we seized the moment.
So it's just the two of you?
Yes, primarily the two of us. Whenever resources permit, we bring someone on board for a very short time, for a very specific task as well. This is usually necessitated by the fact that we both have 8 to 5s somewhere. I work for another company 8 to 5, he works for another company 8 to 5.
Okay.
So someone sometimes has to step in if we have a lot of clients coming in and we cannot pitch for the shoots.
And what's the name of your company and where can people locate you?
Alright, so we are called Jawu Folks. Jawu being myself, Fox being my partner, Tatenda Chikao. And currently we have our studios in Glengarry Crescent number 5 in Blawayo. It's also a residential place where we stay. We decided to cut on the costs. We used to have a studio at Haddon and Sly, but we took it down and decided to come home where we can have both indoor and outdoor shoots at the same time. I'll be glad to take you around the garden. So it's a really peaceful place.
And how did the company name come about?
So yeah, my partner and I were also friends. So I wouldn't say we had a board meeting to discuss the name or anything. We were probably, I don't know, somewhere having fun, and then just thought, why not just call it Jawu Folks? Yeah, he likes the character from Zootopia. His name is I've forgotten, Will or something. It's a fox.
Okay.
And I personally like my surname, Jawu, and then we combined it, and then there it is.
Okay, and where did you get the skills necessary to run this business? Like the photography skills and videography? Is it an inborn thing or you?
We would want to say we are mostly self-taught. I remember I was into mobile photography, using my phone for photography purposes. I got some training on that from where I work at Highlight Foundation. And then when we started using the professional camera, we had to figure out things. We used to use it on auto all the time. And then we started figuring out, oh, there is manual, oh, there is ISO, oh, there is exposure. Okay, what's this about? And we are also taking good advantage of the content on YouTube and these free online photography courses.
Okay.
So we compared the pictures that we first shot in November, when we were telling people actually established, and the pictures we're taking now, they are worlds apart.
Okay, from your experiences and from the lessons that you're getting from YouTube, what can you say makes a good photographer and a videographer?
Right. Firstly, it's the passion that the photographer has, because his personality or her personality is supposed to just paint everyone who's in the photo to be better looking, in a better mood, it has to be a moment. Anyone can hold the latest camera, where the shutter button is, you can take a picture. But what's most important is the photographer, the guy behind the camera, the personality is putting in the people who are in front of the camera.
And what do you always want to communicate with your pictures?
Yeah, that's so I'll explain this in two parts. Fox has his own shots, so to say, and I have my own. So the pictures usually communicate a lot of uniqueness, I should say. We want to be different. We want people to feel loved by our pictures. We want people to be happy, when they look at the pictures. We want people to appreciate themselves in a different way. So we try not to go, face to face, the normal shots. We try and make you feel like you're a model. You are actually a model. Anyone who comes into our studio is a model. And yeah, we just want to make people feel happy. And I think that's what most of our pictures communicate.
Okay. And how do you advertise this business?
So we didn't advertise a lot, especially after the last gig. Why? We realized that because we have 8 to 5s, we actually do not have the time to commit fully to the business. And the demand was going to surpass the supply. And we also didn't want to lose clients because we would then promise that we're going to have a shoot and then we don't show up. So we were not advertising, and we still are not exactly advertising.
So you guys are tight.
We are tight. We are tight most of the time. And also the equipment. We figured if we're going to go fully commercial, we need better equipment, we need better tools, we need more time. So right now we're mostly working on the investment to put back into the business. We've also suffered some losses. We have had 2 cameras stolen. And so bouncing back from that, in this situation where you have to buy in US dollars, a good camera is 400 US at least if it's a second hand. And so, yeah, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time that's needed to run the business. So we haven't been advertising. We have been handpicking clients, most of them for free, because we want to practice as much as we can before we go fully commercial.
Okay. So what kind of equipment do you use for processing your...
It's funny. We shoot with professional cameras. Canon 700D, we had a 550D, we had a Nikon D60. We have a Sony something, it's a camera. But we edit on our phones.
Okay.
Yeah, we do all the post-processing on our mobile phones.
And they still come out good.
They still come out nice. We know we can do better. But with the quality we're producing, people have been liking it so far. So as much as we can do better, like, I know, that's good. We will do better for the next ones. For now, let's work with what's there. Primarily because we didn't have a laptop that's sitting somewhere where we could install the Photoshops and really go into professional editing. So post-processing has been on the phone. And that has also been working well because you can then instantly share. Upload to Google Drive, share the link, they upload from there. Some prefer them on WhatsApp, and then that's that.
Okay, out of interest, what is the thing that you wish you knew when you started?
I'd say, I wish I knew that it wasn't going to be as easy, especially on then getting to decide, do I want to continue to 5? Do I want to go fully into this? Those decisions are difficult to make, especially in the situation that we are in as a country. Also, we would have appreciated if we knew more about the professional cameras, how expensive they are to run and maintain, how they're expensive to purchase, and also the rest of the studio equipment. This is a makeshift, backdrop. The lights. We are working with bits and pieces of everything that we can find. We discover the latest technologies whenever we bought, some of the items. So, yeah, we are work in progress. We are learning every day.
Since you are still learning, by any chance, have you had an unhappy customer?
An unhappy customer? Yeah, we've had a couple, maybe 2 or 3. There's this group of girls that we shot. Yeah, they were not happy because we didn't give them their photos on time.
Okay.
When we had promised. This was because we decided to shoot more. We were supposed to shoot a standard 50 and then give them. But they were just really nice people during these shoots. During these shoots, they were really nice people. And then we decided, we don't have any other clients. Let's just shoot. So we had about 300 photos to give them. And so we took more time because we wanted to deliver the same quality on all of them. They were not happy about the delay. But they were happy with the pictures. They were happy with the pictures. Yeah.
Okay. How does the economic situation of the country impact in your business?
In a lot of ways. The first one is, a photo shoot is not a basic commodity. If you've got $10, you would probably think of getting cooking oil than come for a photo shoot. So our clientele has really gone down in terms of numbers. The demand is not that high. So we need to be really good to compete with the best in the market. And then the equipment. It's very difficult for us to upgrade our equipment at the moment. You can only buy a lens, and then next time maybe buy the lead to the lens, and then buy the name to the lens. So some of these things that are on the market, they actually work, but it's not Sony, it's not Canon, it's not Nikon, it's just a lens. So that's the thing. We would have appreciated a better economy in terms of the clientele and us upgrading our equipment.
What success story can you tell with regards to this business?
I want to say, when we started this thing with my friend, it was a joke. We wanted to have fun, and then it actually turned out into something serious. We have shot 2,000 plus photos to date, and recently we've started to receive calls for weddings as well. So it's not a path we thought we were actually going to go. We thought we were going to shoot, these studio shoots for fun, and then that's that. But now that we're also going into wedding photography, for us it's a big success, because it means bigger clients, more people to make happy, and you don't want to miss a shoot where people are providing you food and music. It's something big for us.
And which events do you cover?
We've decided to just cover everything. We only limit because of the number of people that are attending, because of the equipment we are using. So we would appreciate smaller gatherings of maybe up to 300 people that we can cover. For 1,000 plus, and then you want to be shooting someone in the stands, we don't have the zoom lenses necessary for that. Birthdays, church gatherings, weddings, home shoots, garden shoots. Those are mostly what we've been working on. And then what we want to branch into is into model profiling. We have the expertise, so to say. Fox is a graphic designer. I'm a data scientist. So we now want to develop websites for models. You don't have to be a professional model to be a model. You can have your own blog, you can have your own website, and we're going to be providing that soon.
So what other future plans do you
have? We want to be called internationally to fly just to shoot. That's our biggest dream. We want to be that good. We want to make the least client happiest. We also want to continue with our affordability. We don't want to be increasing our prices as we increase our equipment. So you will check that our shoots when in November, before things went up, it was $10 for 30 minutes, 10 bond for 30 minutes, 10 RTGS dollars for 30 minutes. And we've only adjusted slightly. I mean, we vary in between 15 to 20 bond for the 30 minutes. We don't limit on the number of pictures. We want to make someone happy, regardless of how many pictures they have, how many friends they're bringing, how many outfits they're gonna put on. We took away all those limitations. As long as the person is happy, then we are happy.
Okay. So what's your weakness in this business?
Right. The first one really is we are both male, my partner and I. So sometimes, when you have female clients, they make life interesting during shoots and stuff. I'm married. He is not. So but it's difficult sometimes, to keep it strictly business. So we would appreciate if eventually we get a female hand on the decks, and we also are still trying to learn how best to keep it strictly business.
What about training your wife?
My wife is a makeup artist in the making. She will eventually be part of the business in some way, but you know how difficult it is to have your wife where you're shooting another woman. Yeah, it can be a bit uncomfortable for the parties involved.
Okay.
So we will try and give it time to see if it works. But yeah, she's better off doing the makeup and then disappearing, and then we have to shoot, and then maybe she can be part of the post processing as well. Yeah, yeah, that's basically that. Yeah.
So apart from photography and videography and work, what else are you doing?
Right. I'm also writing. I write a lot of things that I don't share. I usually share with my wife. She is my biggest fan. So what I'm personally planning to do is to get really good singers, and then I'll give them the pieces as songs, and then from there, you never know, the music studio could turn into a dance studio, and from a dance studio it could also turn into a recording studio, because my partner and I really love music and dance. So those are some of the things we're probably going to expand to in the near future.
Yeah, from your experience, can you really say being an entrepreneur works here in Zimbabwe?
It's a question I'm still trying to figure out myself. I'd say it's difficult, especially when you're not coming from old money. You know, with most entrepreneurs that have been successful, I've been following their stories. They're coming from money that has been left by parents or grandparents, and then they have somewhere to start. And they also, mostly importantly, have a cushion. If the idea fails, they can always bounce back and say, you know, this idea failed. And for some of us who are starting with saving from the salary, and then you want to be investing in a business, it's difficult in terms of time and the resources. You would have to work more, both at the 8 to 5 and at the peak you're trying to start. And we are mostly tired. In my line of work, I travel a lot. I drive around, rural areas and stuff. So coming back home and thinking maybe around 7 I'm gonna start working on, it's very difficult. So if we could get more space for funding that does not require collateral, securities should be put in place, obviously, for tracking the monies and stuff. But yeah, funding should be made available. But otherwise, if you've got funding in Zimbabwe, it's a good space to start a business because businesses are being paid well.
And how did the two of you raise funds for this venture?
I don't know where folks stored the money. I found him with most of the equipment in place. I brought in the drive and let's do this, and I was also coming from an expertise point of view where I knew mostly about mobile photography and the editing.
Okay.
So it really put in the fire in the business. It's only now that I'm starting to also input in terms of the physical assets. That's why I had to turn the sitting room into a studio. The garden where we usually just played into an outdoor scene. I've also then brought in the other cameras that we've started to buy, and these I bought from the salaries, where I'm saving up, where I'm working, and then folks saved up for a long time. He wanted to do this for a very long time. He saved through school. So I guess he was way ahead of me in terms of planning for it. Yeah, you didn't steal it. You didn't.
So if you had to get established, would you leave your job just to do this business?
Yeah, let me openly say this on camera. My boss. Boss.
Boss.
I mean, like, where everything then eventually goes, who is Strive. my CEO. Yeah, he personally, openly said it. If you are thinking that your job is the one that's gonna make your family survive, then you're piss clear of your mind. So I'm definitely going for business. It's a matter of time. Not saying that I will neglect my current job. I want to believe in the Christian teaching that if you're faithful in small things, then you can be trusted with the bigger things. I definitely believe the business you're starting is going to be big. So I'm going to be faithful in my job, and eventually we'll definitely make it in business.
Okay, Joe, what key advice would you give to people who are in business and young entrepreneurs who are struggling?
Don't stop. That's all I have to say. The thing is, we have this belief that business is easier than a job. That's a lie. I was asking my wife the other time, we talk about this all the time. Do you think Strive Masiwa and Sisi Masiwa actually sleep? Or do you think Bill Gates actually sleeps? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg? I mean, I'm not going to mention Wicknell. She might be sleeping. But people are in business. It's now a part of their lives. They will breathe it, they will live it, they will eat it in the morning, they will eat it at lunch. So don't stop. It's obviously going to be more difficult, more demanding. And taking from the words of Alibaba CEO Jack Ma, he said the stupidity of people is that they are willing to be on a salary and have a job for 40 years, but do not have the patience to struggle and set up a business in 5. So it's now been 7 months, 6 months. We are going to struggle till we make it. So I hope everyone else just does the same.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for your time.
Thank you so much.
You've been watching The Intrapreneurs with me, Lady K. So if you're an entrepreneur out there and you want to have a similar interview, you can contact us. Goodbye.